faith tells us that the Spirit of God comes to us too. We, in our daily life and in our relationships and in our ministry, have the promise of God's Spirit with us to inspire, guide, to heal, and to transform all our relationships. Let us now pray in each of the directions for the gift.
What are some of the issues of right relationships? That's what social justice is about, right relationships. And what are some of the issues of right relationship in the Canadian church, in the Canadian society? I see injustice then as relationships that are not quite right. They're relationships that favor one over another, that acknowledge the value of one and deny the value of another.
And I'm familiar with the Oedipus Gracious story that comes from...
Meet Sister Priscilla Solomon, who, like her birth sister, Sister Eva Solomon, is a sister of St. Joseph of Sault Ste. Marie and a member of the Ojibwa First Nations community. Today, Sister Priscilla serves the Sisters of St. Joseph community as its social justice coordinator, and that too has a bicultural aspect. Sister Priscilla seeks ways to bring out the uniquely Aboriginal perspective on justice that can enrich all of her listeners, both Native and non-Native.
One of the key issues is then internalized racism that many Canadians and many Catholics don't even realize exists. Canadian society is racist in ways that we're not conscious that we're being racist. I'd say racism at the level of not understanding our relationships as relationships of equality, relationships of honoring the distinctness and the uniqueness of each other are relationships that harbor racism.
You say me, my family, my friends, my community.
To better understand what is meant by an Aboriginal point of view in social justice, both Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal learners can turn to medicine wheel teachings. There they learn that social justice is not an abstraction, not a theory.
With regard to social justice, I think the medicine wheel has helped me as I was getting involved in social justice as an oblate and as a priest, I was learning the Cartesian method, which is see, judge, and act. And I operated on that level for quite a few years, but as I got more involved with First Nations spirituality and learning the medicine wheel, I realized that what was kind of missing was the whole emotional dimension. See is vision, judge is mental, it's thinking, and then it's action, it's behavior. But what about the whole emotional dimension?
Am I my neighbor's keeper? That's social justice.
The medicine wheel shows how things are connected, and you will see that as we go through the wheel, how they're connected with ourselves, with others, with the Creator, and with all of creation.
When we look at the medicine wheel from a social justice perspective, one thing it has to offer is a totally different sense of community.
So in that medicine wheel, there's 4 directions, and they're part of that whole, and they all depend upon each other, and each is connected.
There's a man in Winnipeg who's an alcoholic, and in the spring, when there was still ice breaking on that river, another person fell into the river, and this alcoholic went in and saved his life. And he said, I just couldn't see this young person losing his life. As drunk as he may have been, he had that sense of the value for life. That person needed to be saved just because they were a human being. That's social justice.
In the Exodus story, God sent his...
Social justice is very personal and about deep personal responsibility within all one's relationships to self, family, community, and church. It is above all about a new relationship between this country's first peoples and the people who came later.
This is a challenge both to Aboriginal people and non-Aboriginal people, is to facilitate economic development in such a way that Aboriginal people are able to be freed from economic oppression or lack of resources, but to do it in such a way that we're not forced to move into a whole other way of relating to money and possession and resources. It's our Mother Earth.
The first was the fisheries off the Atlantic.
The issue is to hear the truth of the whole process of colonization, not in a way that other Canadians are hearing Aboriginal people blame them, but in recognizing that this process of colonization actually took place, that is how Canada has been developed over the years into what it is now, the nation that we are now.
The question arises, what is history? And the answer, of course, is that history is how we view ourselves in relation to ourselves, our own persons, in relation to our communities, in relation to our country, in relation to the cosmos. And out of all this...
That would be a very transformative experience for us as a nation, to be able to hear the other side of a story, of our story, and to be able to dialogue about that story.